If you drive past a Walmart tonight, you might mistake the parking lot for a refugee camp. Under the same bright floodlights that once promised convenience, rows of tents now flap in the cold wind, a grim new suburb built on desperation. Some call it Camp Walmart, others just call it home. Across America, from Bakersfield to Baton Rouge, these asphalt jungles are turning into tent cities. According to recent counts by several state agencies, more than 100,000 people are now living in vehicles or makeshift shelters parked outside big box stores. The irony, many of them used to shop there every weekend. For decades, Walmart was where America stretched its paycheck. $100 once bought a month's worth of groceries and a little dignity to take home. Now that same bill barely fills two sad grocery bags, one half air, half regret. Inflation has hit like a slow-motion car crash. The gallon of milk that cost $3 last year now smirks from the shelf at $5. Ground beef, the blue-collar dinner staple, has doubled. And eggs? They're so expensive now, some folks joke that omelets should come with a financing plan. It'd be funny if it weren't true. How did the nation's biggest retailer, once a symbol of affordability and community, become the backdrop for America's collapse? When did the parking lot turn into a refugee camp for the working class? And what does it say about a country when the cheapest place to shop becomes the only place left to survive? This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. And tonight, we uncover why millions are quitting Walmart and why its parking lots are turning into tent cities across America. The fall of low prices forever. Even the world's biggest retailer by profit can't outrun the math. When Trump told Walmart to eat the cost of rising tariffs, executives smiled for the cameras but sharpened their pencils behind closed doors. Corporations don't eat costs, they feed them back to us. And this year, Walmart quietly warned it may hike prices again. The company blames supply chains, labor, energy, the usual suspects. But inside those fluorescent aisles, the truth hits harder. Americans are running out of room to fall. In towns like Tulsa, Denver, and Fresno, local news crews film the same haunting scene. People pitching tents just yards from the automatic doors where they once bought their groceries. RVs line the curbs like a new kind of housing development. The Walmart estates, some employees, earning just above minimum wage, finish their shifts and walk to their tents out back. It's not an exaggeration. It's the new shift rotation of America's working poor. Older shoppers who remember the promise of the 1980s, when Walmart meant survival, now walk those aisles in disbelief, holding receipts like evidence in a national crime. They don't need economists to explain what went wrong. They can see it, outside parking lots transforming into proof that something in the heart of America has broken. The save money, live better slogan now sounds like a cruel punchline. And as the tents multiply under the blue Walmart sign, one can't help but wonder, how much longer before the American dream needs a tarp too? Great value, great betrayal. And here's the gut punch. It's not just the fancy brands bleeding wallets anymore. Even Walmart's so-called knight in shining armor, the Great Value line, has turned its sword on its own people. Those blue and white labels once meant salvation for struggling families, the quiet promise that you could still feed a household without skipping the electric bill. But in 2025, Great Value feels like a cruel punchline. The prices that used to sit comfortably at half the cost of name brands have crept so close you'd need a magnifying glass, or maybe a microscope, just to tell the difference. It's as if Walmart took the training wheels off and shoved its most loyal shoppers straight into oncoming traffic. The betrayal stings because these off-brand staples weren't just products. They were routines, rituals of survival that helped millions stretch another week. For years, Great Value was as sacred as Grandma's Sunday casserole. Basic, dependable, always there to get you through. Now even Grandma's squinting at the shelf, whispering under her breath. This used to be cheaper at Walmart. And when Grandma loses faith, the battle's already lost. Because she's the one who taught America how to save, how to budget, how to make soup out of scraps and still smile doing it. If even she's walking away from Great Value, it's not just a price hike. It's a collapse of trust. The discount giant's shining armor has rusted and the shine is gone. The great exodus. That's why the exodus is real. and it's not quiet anymore. Walmart isn't just losing the bargain hunters, it's watching entire families pack up their loyalty and walk away. The migration has begun, and it's headed straight into the open arms of Aldi, Dollar General, and Costco. The irony stings like a paper cut dipped in lemon juice. Walmart, the same giant that once crushed mom-and-pop stores beneath its big blue smile, is now being outplayed by the very underdogs it used to mock. Aldi is selling bread, canned goods, and cleaning supplies for less. Dollar General, once the butt of small-town jokes, now beats Walmart on daily staples like soap, cereal, and toilet paper. And Costco, that warehouse temple of bulk bargains, has become a new sanctuary for the disillusioned. Suddenly, buying a year's worth of paper towels feels smarter than chasing rollback signs that don't roll back anymore. Picture this: a loyal Walmart shopper, the kind who's been filling their pantry there since the 1990s. They walk in with $150, their usual weekly budget, and walk out with 2 lonely bags. 2. What used to feed a family for 7 days now barely covers a Tuesday night taco dinner. This isn't some internet exaggeration. These scenes are plastered all over Facebook, TikTok, and Reddit. Photos of receipts go viral like crime scene evidence. Screenshots of $200 totals for a handful of groceries sparking outrage and disbelief. The comment sections read like modern-day support groups, a digital circle of betrayed Walmart loyalists sharing their grief. People who once defended Walmart like a hometown football team now openly ask, where else can we shop without going broke? Facebook pages once filled with coupon tips and rollback fines have morphed into venting arenas, overflowing with horror stories and confessions. One woman from Kentucky posted that her grocery bill doubled in a year. Another from Texas uploaded a photo of her receipt and captioned it, "I thought this was a joke until I checked my cart." The replies pour in, "Same here. Try Aldi. Costco saved my week." Across the country, these conversations are no longer about deals. They're about survival. And the strangest part? There's almost a sense of community in the betrayal. Walmart's ex-loyalists are swapping Aldi chocolate tips, Dollar General hacks, and Costco bulk secrets like survivors trading war stories. They joke about needing therapy after checking out. They laugh, but the laughter trembles. Because deep down, they know what it means. If even Walmart, the last fortress of affordability, has fallen, then something much bigger is cracking in America's foundation. The bargain kingdom has lost its crown, and its people are marching out, one empty cart at a time, inside the chaos. Think about that for a second. The downfall didn't start with prices, it started with trust. For decades, Walmart's biggest weapon wasn't the giant yellow rollback signs, it was loyalty. People didn't just shop there, they swore by it. They brought their kids on Friday nights, grabbed popcorn chicken, and called it family time. It was woven into American life, a routine as steady as church on Sunday. But now that loyalty is being auctioned off to the highest bidder, one bad receipt at a time. Here's the cold truth. Walmart's prices don't just sting, they shatter the very promise the company was built on. Once that promise breaks, it doesn't matter how many aisles you pack with off-brand cereal or offload rollback stickers that don't roll back. Customers don't just feel tricked, they feel betrayed permanently. High prices are one thing. You can swallow a few extra dollars if the experience feels human. But walk into Walmart these days and it doesn't feel like shopping anymore. It feels like punishment. The first thing that hits you isn't the smell of floor cleaner or the sight of overflowing shelves. It's exhaustion. The people in blue vests don't look like greeters anymore. They look like extras from a zombie movie. Tired eyes, drooping shoulders, voices that crack mid-sentence. Finding an employee who can actually help feels like winning a state lottery. And when you finally flag someone down, half the time they're new, overwhelmed, or powerless to fix anything. You can't even blame them. When corporate cuts labor to save pennies, the result isn't efficiency. It's chaos disguised as cost control. Need to check out? Good luck. Picture this. It's Friday evening, and the checkout lines stretch halfway to electronics. Half the registers are dark, their glowing lights switched off like a cruel inside joke. You're stuck behind a family whose cart looks like a Jenga tower, while 3 perfectly good lanes sit idle. The frustration boils fast, and all you can hear is the beep-beep of scanners that sound less like progress and more like a slow heartbeat of decline. And don't think the self-checkouts are saving anyone. We'll get to that circus later. For now, imagine standing in that bottleneck, tired, cornered, humiliated, realizing you've become part of the machine. You're not a shopper anymore. You're inventory, moving through a system designed to squeeze every second, every penny, every ounce of patience you've got left. Somewhere between the flickering ceiling lights and the hum of overworked scanners, the Walmart dream died quietly. It didn't go out with an explosion. It bled out, one long line and one broken promise at a time. Walmart's lost humanity. And then come the returns, the true test of a person's patience. Need to exchange a broken blender? Better pack a lunch and clear your whole afternoon. The customer service desk, once a small hub of smiling helpers, now looks like the waiting room of a DMV on a bad day. One exhausted employee stands there juggling a line that twists past the pharmacy, apologizing to everyone while the phone rings nonstop. When you finally make it to the counter, they sigh, scan your receipt, and then, of course, call a manager for approval just to swap out a pair of socks. You watch them peck at the keyboard like they're hacking into the Pentagon while your patience quietly dies. And here's the tragedy. These workers want to help. You can see it in their tired eyes, in the way they try to stay polite even as the crowd grows restless behind you. But they're trapped, boxed in by corporate rules, outdated systems, and penny-pinching policies that strip them of any authority. No power to override, no training deep enough to solve problems, just endless cycles of apologizing while the line inches forward like molasses in January. This isn't just bad service. It's the slow death of the human touch. Longtime Walmart shoppers still remember the greeters who smiled at the door, the cashiers who asked about your day, the small gestures that made even a massive store feel personal. Those moments have vanished. The place feels cold now, robotic, impatient. Efficiency has replaced humanity, and not in the good Silicon Valley way. Because here's the cruel twist. Efficiency is supposed to save time. At Walmart, it does the exact opposite. Every line drags, every return drags. Even finding someone to unlock a glass case for deodorant or baby formula turns into a scavenger hunt that could test the patience of a saint. You end up standing there, staring at a $4 item behind a locked door like it's the crown jewels. That's the hidden cost of Walmart's obsession with cutting labor. Sure, the company saves a few bucks on payroll, but it loses something priceless. The human connection that once made this place your store. It used to be where neighbors met, where smiles came free, and where customers felt seen. Now it's a corporate machine grinding through people and patients alike, one barcode at a time. Self-checkout hell. If high prices and bad service weren't enough to push people out the door, Walmart decided to throw one more curveball: chaos on the shelves. Shopping there now feels less like running errands and more like scavenging after a hurricane. Empty aisles, expired food, bruised produce. It's as if grocery shopping has turned into an extreme sport. Picture it. You head to Walmart with a simple list: milk, bread, maybe a few vegetables. You turn the corner and bam, the shelves look like they've been raided by locusts. Entire sections wiped clean, staples missing for weeks. And when you do find something, half the time it's stale cereal, dented cans, or lettuce that looks like it's been through a demolition derby. Customers have the proof. Photos flood social media, moldy bread days past the sell-by date, strawberries growing their own ecosystems, cereal that tastes like cardboard sprinkled with regret. One woman joked online, "At this point, Walmart produce should come with a warning label. May contain disappointment. It would be funny if it weren't so expensive. Because this isn't bargain bin junk. It's premium pricing for food that barely survives the drive home. For America's seniors, it's more than an inconvenience. It's a gut punch." Many older shoppers rely on Walmart for affordable groceries, medication, and personal essentials. When those shelves sit empty, it's not just frustrating, it's dangerous. Imagine showing up for your blood pressure meds and being told, "Sorry, out of stock. Maybe next week." Other chains, Aldi, Publix, Costco, somehow keep their shelves full. But Walmart blames supply chain disruptions, while customers roll their eyes and head to stores that seem to have figured it out. But Walmart wasn't finished making shopping harder. No, they had to go and reinvent the checkout process, and not in a good way. Welcome to self-checkout hell. Remember when a smiling cashier would scan your groceries, maybe chat about the weather, and send you on your way? Gone. Today you're the cashier, the bagger, and the unpaid IT department, all rolled into one. It's supposed to be faster. That's the corporate fantasy. But ask Dorothy, a 73-year-old from Ohio, who spent 20 minutes wrestling with a bag of apples while the machine screamed, "Unexpected item in bagging area." Behind her, a line of irritated shoppers formed, while one frazzled employee ran between 8 malfunctioning kiosks like a firefighter in a burning circus. Faster? More like unpaid internship at the world's worst grocery store. And while you fumble through the process, cameras loom above like vultures. Every beep feels like an interrogation. Then, as if humiliation needed a sequel, you're stopped at the exit by a receipt checker glaring into your cart like you're smuggling diamonds instead of toilet paper. People don't feel valued anymore. They feel criminalized. Machines freeze mid-transaction, card readers reject payments, scales refuse to cooperate, and patience evaporates. What should take 5 minutes drags into 20. Frustrated shoppers abandon carts, walk out, and never come back. Corporate calls it streamlining the experience. In reality, it's chaos dressed as innovation. For parents juggling children or elderly shoppers with arthritis, self-checkout feels less like convenience and more like punishment with fluorescent lighting. The worst irony? Walmart once prided itself on community, friendly greeters, human connection, a store that felt like yours. Now it's been replaced by blinking machines, robotic voices, and error messages that scold you for being human. The soul of Walmart has been gutted, replaced with an algorithm. And while Walmart automates itself into oblivion, its rivals, Aldi, Costco, even Dollar General, still rely on real people to move lines faster and make customers feel seen. That's the ultimate twist. Walmart didn't just lose its savings, it lost its soul. America walks away. You thought it couldn't get worse? Buckle up, because in 2025, Walmart isn't just losing customers to Aldi or Costco. It's facing something far uglier, a full-blown boycott, and not the flimsy hashtag of the week kind. We're talking millions of shoppers walking away in unison, like a stampede through the exit doors. The first wave hit from conservative groups furious over Walmart's supposed political stance, from advertising choices to public donations that didn't sit well with them. Overnight, parking lots that once looked like Black Friday every day turned into ghost towns, rows of shopping carts abandoned under flickering lights. But before Walmart could even catch its breath, the pendulum swung the other way. Progressive groups launched their own boycott. Different reasons, same rage. They blasted the company for underpaying workers, crushing small businesses, and hiking prices while corporate profits soared. The result? Both sides of America's cultural battlefield were suddenly united, not by politics, but by shared disgust. This wasn't just online noise or Twitter theatrics. The outrage spilled into real life. Families who'd shopped there for decades stopped showing up altogether. Entire Facebook communities coordinated cart abandonment days. Shoppers would fill their carts to the brim, stroll to the checkout, and walk out without paying, leaving aisles littered with melting ice cream and half-squashed bread. Store managers stood frozen, watching regulars, people they'd seen every Tuesday for 15 years, vanish without a word. Here's the brutal truth. Most of those customers never came back. Because once you break the Walmart habit, you realize life without it isn't just possible, it's better. You discover Aldi's prices, Costco's quality, Dollar General's convenience, and suddenly that big blue box feels more like a bad memory than a necessity. The everyday low price spell has been broken, and when loyalty cracks, it never fully repairs. Then came the closures. Corporate tried to spin it as a strategic reassessment of our footprint, but everyone knew what it meant. They were shutting down stores, lots of them, And not just in struggling towns. Profitable locations were axed too, especially in areas where public relations had gone sour. For small communities, it was a gut punch. Take Millfield, Ohio. Population 8,400. Their Walmart closed last spring after 15 years of operation. That store wasn't just a retailer. It was the pharmacy, the grocery, the general store, the place you saw neighbors and caught up on local gossip. When it shut down, residents had to drive 45 minutes one way just to buy groceries or refill prescriptions. That's not an inconvenience. That's a crisis. It's the birth of another American food desert. Seniors skipped medications because they couldn't travel that far. Single parents stretched canned food past its limit. And all the while, corporate spokespeople talked about operational optimization, as if these weren't real lives being affected. The cruel irony? Many of these same towns watched Walmart bulldoze their mom-and-pop shops 20 years ago. The local hardware stores, the family grocers, the bakeries, all crushed under the promise of cheaper prices. Now the same giant that killed Main Street is packing up and leaving them with nothing but hollowed-out buildings and shattered hope. Empty strip malls bake under the sun, job listings disappear, and now leasing signs hang like tombstones over broken glass. Walmart used to call itself the heartbeat of small-town America. But when that heartbeat stops, all that's left is silence. And a nation realizing that the monster it fed for convenience is now walking away, leaving nothing but the ruins of its appetite. The trust is gone. The real damage Walmart has done isn't just in its empty aisles or shuttered stores. It's in something deeper, quieter, and far harder to repair. Broken trust. For decades, Walmart wasn't merely a place to shop. It was a rhythm of American life. Families loaded up the minivan every Saturday morning. Grandparents dropped by after church on Sundays. Teenagers got their first jobs under that buzzing blue sign. For millions, Walmart wasn't just a brand. It was part of the family calendar. Now that bond feels severed and no discount tag can glue it back together. Listen to Sarah from Ohio. It used to feel like my neighborhood store, even though it was huge. Now it feels like a cold warehouse where no one cares if I'm there. Her words echo across the country like a shared confession. People didn't hold protests or make farewell speeches. They just quietly stopped showing up. The aisles grew lonelier, the parking lots a little emptier. The blue glow of the sign, once comforting, now feels like a flickering relic of something America used to believe in. That's the heartbreak Walmart refuses to face. Once you lose trust, you never truly win it back. You can slash prices till they scream. You can remodel stores, repaint walls, and slap new slogans on old problems. You can install faster self-checkouts surrounded by more cameras than a Vegas casino. But none of it matters. Once shoppers feel betrayed, it's over. They don't rage. They retreat. Quietly, permanently. Because Walmart didn't just raise prices or cut hours. It did something far worse. It killed the feeling that made people love it in the first place. That strange, simple warmth of being seen. The smile at the register. The small talk in the checkout line. The sense that this giant fluorescent-lit store still cared if you came back. That feeling is gone. And when community dies, no rollback sticker on earth can roll it back. So the next time you drive past a Walmart and wonder why the lot looks half empty, don't blame the economy. Don't blame Amazon. Blame the quiet betrayal that crept in aisle by aisle, until America's most loyal customers finally walked away. People didn't just stop shopping, they stopped believing. And once belief dies, there's no coupon deep enough to bring it back. If this breakdown opened your eyes to what really happened to America's biggest retailer, do one thing before you go: smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. Because this story isn't just about Walmart. It's about what happens when corporate greed kills community. And we're not done telling that story.
Thank you for watching today's video all the way through. If you found the content helpful, don't forget to click like and subscribe to stay updated to our latest daily videos. Now feel free to check out other featured videos currently shown on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.